Eden Alternative, an alternative to the institutional approach to long-term care, was founded by Dr. Bill Thomas after a resident in a nursing home where he was working as a young doctor held him on his arm and said, "Doctor, I am so lonely." It immediately dawned on him that there's actually no pill, no prescription that a doctor can write to make the loneliness go away. He watched and listened to life in the nursing home, and over time he witnessed that the institutional model of care breeds three deadly plagues of the human spirit, namely loneliness, helplessness, and boredom. And so he began to envision a care environment where people could live and thrive. Working together with his wife, Judith Mayers Thomas, this vision began to unfold. Eden Alternative was founded in the early 1990s, where Dr. Bill Thomas received a grant from the state of New York to pilot his vision to translate Eden Alternative into meaningful action. The Eden Alternative has been going strong for more than 20 years now. It's been that long. It has over 30,000 certified Eden associates and several certified Eden homes worldwide. In August 2010, the Australian edition of Aged Insight magazine listed Eden Alternative as one of the top 10 most influential innovations in aged care. At Sunnyside, the idea of Eden has long been recognized by the administrator, Randy Kurtz, as a valuable philosophy of care for the residents, with my vision that there should be no bored, lonely, or helpless residents at Sunnyside. Being an Eden associate myself, a year before I joined Sunnyside, and with the approval of the Eden associates who were trained by Cheryl George and Suelin Bailey, and of the board of directors, we started our journey of embracing Eden Alternative on January 2016. We would like you to be acquainted with Eden Alternative. Eden Alternative is a philosophy of care that's guided by 10 principles. And this presentation is made to enable you to know what these 10 principles are. Please take note that Eden Alternative refers to residents as elders. At Sunnyside, we refer to people residing here as residents. We acknowledge that each of you is a part of this journey, and therefore, it is very important for you to know these 10 principles. Thank you for your interest in learning these principles. We sincerely appreciate your time and effort. On the screen, you will see the list of the Eden principles. If you are viewing this presentation in a classroom setting, you will be given a copy of the 10 principles. I'll be talking about the principles as it relates to one another and not necessarily in sequence as numbered. On your list there, you will see that it's listed from 1 to 10. As mentioned previously, there is a problem in the institutional ways of care for residents in long-term care. This problem, referred to as plagues, are loneliness, helplessness, and boredom. Residents in long-term care suffer from loneliness, helplessness, and boredom. However, there are antidotes to these plagues. The first antidote is found in Principle 3. Loving companionship is the antidote to loneliness. This companionship can be given by everyone around the resident and even by animals or pets. In Principle 4, giving as well as receiving care is the antidote to helplessness. This means that residents can provide care to other residents and to care partners as well. Take note that a care partner refers to all the staff, management included, volunteers, and stakeholders at Sunnyside. Variety and spontaneity, stated in Principle 5, is the antidote to boredom. When unexpected and unpredictable interactions and happenings take place, boredom eases. The spur-of-the-moment type of thing is encouraged. Anything that makes the day or moment joyful, even exciting, something that happens out of the blue. I know you know those things. In Principle 6, meaningful activities is essential to human health. Meaningful activities are a combination of undertakings which promotes socialization, learning or relearning of a skill, of being productive, something that's fun, exciting, something that gives a sense of accomplishment to the residents, etc., etc. How about the role of medications? Medication is part of care, and this is in Principle 7 if you look at your list. Residents have medications for various reasons, and they need it. However, antipsychotic medications is not the ultimate solution to when a person becomes agitated or is restless. Should this medication be given, it is with utmost consideration and much deliberation where all options have been exhausted and the medication is given in conjunction with non-medication approaches of care with the aim of evaluating its effects, adjusting the dosage, or even stopping it. In Principle 8, residents are the daily decision makers. Decisions related to care is shared between residents, families, and their care partners, and no longer a top-down bureaucratic authority. Principle 8 is illustrated through a decision ring where the resident is at the center. In every discussion and decisions, we should always consider the benefit to the person at the center of care, which is the resident. Principle 2, going back to the top of the list. The ultimate goal in Eden Alternative is creating a human habitat or creating home where there is close and continuing contact. Now, there are two essentials in this principle. First, creating home or human habitat, and the second one, close and continuing contact. First, creating home. In the physical environment, this means making a resident space as home-like as can be. Close and continuing contact helps residents and care partners build relationships, even close relationships. This is where the concept of permanent staffing came into play. We made a decision that our CCAs, meaning the continuing care assistants, will be supporting residents in one area or one neighborhood only, instead of rotating throughout a group of 8 to 9 residents in all neighborhoods. It only makes sense that the CCAs get to know and deeply acquainted with 8 to 9 residents than all the 97, which is the total number of residents at Sunnyside. Neighborhood pertains to the 3 hallways at Sunnyside. Riverview, the north side, has 35 residents. Prairieland, the east side, has 33 residents, and Diefenbaker, the south side, has 29 residents. I created a timeline for permanent staffing, presented it to the core leaders. The term core leader is from Eden. The core leaders are referred to as coaches, and this is a team of managers and the administrator who initiated the implementation of Eden Alternative, and also to the QI, the Quality Improvement Committee. The timeline was presented to them. The proposal was approved and recommended for implementation. The CCAs were then asked to choose their neighborhood. On February 5, 2017, we implemented permanent staffing. Now, almost simultaneous to the start of permanent staffing, the core leaders began organizing the neighborhood teams. Each of the 3 neighborhoods was divided into 2 teams. This means that there are 2 teams in Riverview, 2 in Prairieland, and 2 in Diefenbaker. All in all, there are 3 neighborhoods with 2 teams each. The way staff supported a resident in the institutional model of care is departmentalized and task-oriented, and has created a culture characterized by pessimism and cynicism. To improve this situation, the neighborhood teams were established. After the CCAs chose their desired teams and became permanent care partners for the residents in that team, it was decided to add the rest of the staff at Sunnyside to the teams. Each team is composed of the residents and, of course, their families. And this is where you come in, those of you who are watching this presentation and you belong to this category. Plus, a team leader, the nurses, the CCAs, the ward clerk, care support, dietary staff, the administration, some of whom are core leaders, housekeeping staff, recreation, laundry, and maintenance. In a system like this, there is a process we follow in order to reach our goal of creating home and make daily life meaningful. The neighborhood teams are expected to share the joys of being a team member through celebrations and planning events, work through problem-solving matters and challenges, and to carry out our goal of creating home so that Sunnyside becomes a great place for residents to live and a wonderful workplace for staff. So, what's the implication of Eden to the members of the neighborhood teams? This means that each of us, each member, will strive towards alleviating boredom, loneliness, and helplessness. I myself will strive to be a dynamic, involved, committed, and dedicated team member. You will also strive to be an awesome team member. I will do my share of making things happen. I will fulfill my responsibilities. I will assist in addressing concerns. I will be part of the solution. I will attend team meetings, or as a resident, I may not say or do much, but I know that my presence is worthwhile and uplifting. I will do my best to help us reach the goal of creating home. Now, how about the plants, animals, and children mentioned in Principle 2? These three elements give residents the opportunity to give care and nurture. Once your neighborhood teams are ready, you can start talking about integrating plants, animals, and children into the daily life at Sunnyside. Principle 9, in this principle, this is now on the bottom part of your list, states that creating an elder-centered community is a never-ending process. Adapting Eden alternative into the mainstream of everyday life at Sunnyside is not an overnight thing. It will be, and take note of this, a journey of a lifetime. This is not ending tomorrow or the next few years. It will stay as long as Sunnyside exists. Principle 10, we're now down to the last of the 10 principles. The administrator and the managers are all Eden associates. Therefore, we have a good grasp of Eden alternative and of the 10 principles. All of these leaders, plus the other Eden associates who are staff members, made a decision to take the Eden alternative journey. We recognize that we have to do away with the old institutional way of caring for our residents and instead adapt the alternative, the Eden alternative. With the support of the Sunnyside Board, we will continue to lead, guide, support, coach, and care for the teams. Together, we will make life at Sunnyside worth living for residents who are living here. In summary, the principles of Eden Alternative recognized that a plague of loneliness, helplessness, and boredom is troubling our residents. Therefore, the way to get rid of this is by providing loving companionship. Giving residents an opportunity to care for and nurture others. That spontaneous conversations or happenings, bring joy and fun to everyday life. Medications is an essential part of care, but not the master of it. That decisions relating to care is shared between residents and their care partners. The ultimate goal, that of creating home, through a home-like environment or atmosphere, where a resident is surrounded by people they know, therefore promoting friendship, closeness, and familiarity. I hope that this presentation has given you some understanding of Eden Alternative and the 10 principles. Eden Alternative is a philosophy of care guided by these 10 principles.